Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm just loading some video. Hi. My hair looks crazy. It's very humid and wait, can everybody hear me? Hopefully you can hear me fine. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I'm getting some video file. Stop. I hate it plays right when I upload it. Hopefully everybody had a really good 4th of July. Oh, here we are. Okay. Hi, Marco. Hi, Miles. The Latent Observer. Hi. Sir TDS. Hello. Lazaro. Hello. How are you all? Thank you for saying that. Let me just tell you, it is so hot and humid. And last night, my family and we did fireworks and I was just eaten alive. You can't really see it. I have mosquito bites on my forehead. I have mosquito bites in between my toes on my feet. They are everywhere. It's horrible. It's torturous. Entertaining Ked said, hello. Thank you for joining. I'm uploading a few video files. This should be a fun stream. And then I'll get started. What a funny, or not funny, interesting news cycle. We're not ready for that yet. Breaking news. Originator unlikely to be found. Yeah, we're not going to. If they wanted to, they could find that in 5 minutes. You know it. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. If they really wanted to.
To judge, but
the conflicting news around that was really funny. First, so the news came out at first that it was found. At first, it said it was found in a library, and then it said it was found in the West Wing, likely next to a tourist area. Then they were saying it was likely a tourist that maybe accidentally dropped it. I think everything is on the table. I think it could have been an individual, and just what a coincidence if not. I think it could have been maybe someone visiting and dropped, I don't know, a baggie. It's also very likely that I'm sure a lot of staffers partake in extracurricular activities. It's DC. So I think it could be anything. Was it found next to a laptop? No, but I did read in some story. Karen said Hunter. I did read in some story. I can't remember which publication it was, but I did read that it was found next to stored electronics. I'm not even joking. If I can find the tweet in the story, I'll show it to you. It said next to stored, which further adds the irony that we're not too good with stored electronic items. Okay, there's that. Hi, Glenn. Thank you for joining. Okay, I'm glad that we have a group. I didn't know because I didn't really announce. Waiting for that. Okay, before we get started. And electronics. Oh, he labels. Okay, so maybe who knows? There was a rather curious video that came out. I don't have it on my computer. You can probably find it online. There was a video that came out during their 4th of July celebration. Well, the other thing too is Hunter has been there the past week and they celebrated the 4th of July at the White House and had a big event and he was there. And I will say, you can search this video. I just happened to not upload it. He looked rather, he had some odd behavior. It was just odd. Was it near a Hunter Biden laptop? I don't know. It was what did I label my video? That's what it felt like. It felt like we were watching a very degenerate version of Clue. That's what it started to feel like. It was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick. Hunter truly lives at the White House. He's always around. Yeah, he's there a lot. So I don't know. It's just nothing really shocks me anymore. It is rather funny that we were told that, I look at the events that I hate that I always go back to comparing Trump and Biden. I don't like doing that, but it's hard not to think about it because we were told that the decorum of the White House, the sanctity of the White House was just going to be destroyed by Donald Trump. And look at the events that have happened at the White House. We have this, which I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never heard of it happening. We had, remember the celebration, the pride celebration with boobies. I mean, okay, I'm waiting for this last. Smartest guy he knows, but not the cleanest. Okay, let's look at this. We're going to talk about Hunter more, but I wanted to talk about this movie really quick because it actually came out in some theaters on Monday, but I think the official release date was yesterday, July 4th. I I can't remember if we talked about this movie, but this is called The Sound of Freedom, and I'm excited about this for a lot of different reasons. One, this movie is about the trafficking of children, and I cannot remember the exact number, but this is the largest crime industry in the entire world. And this industry altogether, it's over $100 billion industry. That's bigger than the NBA, the NFL. Like that's all of it combined. That's how massive this industry is. And so this is it's a movie, but about a real life story. It's based on Operation Underground, I believe. They're an operation that goes around and they save kids from around the world. So this movie is based on them. And what I also really liked, and this is something that I've talked about for a while, is the fact that our southern border being so wide open right now is only making this problem worse. It's over $100 billion industry, largest crime industry in the whole world. The United States of America is the largest consumer of this industry, and we are just importing tons of unaccompanied, unidentified children, tons of unidentified women that can easily be lost in the system, and they're here in the US. We're importing slaves, essentially. That's what we're doing. And our southern border is making it worse. And what I really appreciated and what they did correctly is they made a connection with this problem and the border. And while they were going around promoting the film, they spoke about the southern border a lot, as they should, because it only perpetuates and makes that problem even worse. It's like a playground for criminals and criminal behavior and bad actors. So I like that. And it opened this week. It's already getting really good numbers. And here's a story behind it. And it's going to make this all the more satisfying because I actually have some really good news. Yes, Glenn, you are right. So Disney, all right, this movie was made 4 years ago. It was made 4 years ago and is finally being released. And the reason for that is the movie was produced by 20th Century Fox. Well, Disney took over 20th Century Fox. And when that happened, they shelved this movie. And basically, shelved in Hollywood means they keep you on the shelf. So, for instance, an agent might do that. An agent might shelve you. Maybe they don't think it'll do well. There's a lot of different reasons why they shelve things. Maybe they don't think there's a market for it. They don't want it. Or, this has happened too. Sometimes you might be an actor and you might have an agent, and that agent has another actor that is direct competition with you. So that agent might sign you and just not put you out to kind of shelve you so that they limit the competition. I'm not saying that's anything what happens, but shelving is a very big, real thing in entertainment and music and all of that. So they shelved it and wouldn't allow them to be let go so they could find another distributor. Well, finally they were let go. They found a distributor and look at this. So these are the numbers from yesterday. This is the daily domestic chart, Tuesday, July 4th for movies. Look who's number one, The Sound of Freedom. And look who it beat. Look who's number two. It beat Indiana Jones. Who's the distributor of Indiana Jones? It is Disney. So that's pretty cool. It beat out Indiana Jones. Dave Baxter, hello from Springfield. Oh, close to our southern border. Uh-oh. Oh, close our southern border. I was like, wait, you're not close to the southern border. I was like, did I read that wrong? Close our southern border. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wait a second. Did I do that bad in geography? So that's very cool. And Jim Cazizio, I always say his name wrong, so I apologize if I just butchered it. I can't. As soon as I start to say his last name, I go dyslexic. Jim, the lead actor in the film Sound of Freedom, was also the lead actor in Passion of the Christ. And they had the same issue with the Passion of the Christ. They couldn't get it into a lot of theaters. They got blocked when they were trying to release it. So same exact issue. And what happened with Passion of the Christ is, you know, on their first few weeks that they were open, so many people went out and bought tickets. There was such a demand for the film that they had to put it in more theaters. They had to give it more showtimes. So that's what they're hoping is going to happen with this movie. That's why it's so important. If you're going to see it, go see it this week if you can. I'm going to go see it Friday. And if you can't see it, or if you are in a bind and cannot afford a ticket, you can go on angel.com. Hold on. It's just angel.com. Sound of Freedom. Go on their website. You can see where you can get free tickets. So if you want to pay it forward and buy a free ticket to go in the pool of free tickets so that someone else can purchase a ticket and see it for free if they're in a financial bind, you can do that too. And if you're someone that needs a free ticket, you can go on the website. As soon as you click on the website, a pop-up will come up telling you how to get free tickets if that's what you want. So it's really important. It's also what a great way to show Hollywood, to show everyone this is what we want to see, especially when Disney and all of these production houses and distributors are putting out so much woke BS. Show them that this is what we want to see. And what's interesting about Disney too is they actually got a lot of criticism from even their liberal fans when they did this merger with Fox. And it would have been a really smart thing for them to do to release this film. Exactly. And this is one very real way that you can vote for your dollar. So many people are always like, I don't know what to do. I feel helpless. I can't do anything. And I know it doesn't feel like you're doing a lot by purchasing a ticket or seeing a film, but you are. And again, these guys are talking about the southern border. And here's the thing about the border. There's a lot of liberals that kind of have their heads and they have no idea what's happening on the border. And they're like, we got to let everyone in because they don't understand the reality of this stuff. They don't understand the whole truth. They just think we're being nice and letting in nice people. So this is a really good way to open up conversation and to show people what's actually happening because I do believe from the bottom of my heart that most of us are good people. And when we know the truth about these situations, then maybe we'll vote the right way. But first, it's knowing. So I'm excited. I'm excited about those numbers and that they made this film and that it's finally out. I cannot believe it was made 4 years ago. Usually movies do take a while to come out, 4 years. It did better than Indiana Jones and yeah, it did. Yeah, here are the numbers. It did better than Indiana Jones on the 4th of July. That's a big deal. Because Indiana Jones, that's supposed to be a summer blockbuster film. So the fact that this beats the summer blockbuster film on the 4th of July, big deal. I see y'all survived the hottest day in 100,000 years. We did. We're all here. Congratulations. But we won't survive if we all have to go on wind turbines and green energy. Oh, cool. The Latin Observer says, I just checked. It's playing locally in northern, is that Kentucky? We'll go see it. Awesome. Yeah, it's playing at a few theaters near me. Sorry, this one piece of hair is distracting me. One more cow fart and we all would have been. Let's all thank the cows for holding it in yesterday. In other news, the powdery substance. Let's go back to that. Now that we talked about the serious. Well, not that this isn't serious. It's all serious. Okay, move. The powdery substance. Hold on, I have an article here. You can't make it up. Really can't. Really can't. Okay. You go down there. All right. Law enforcement expert breaks down the search for the powdery perpetrator. The search for who bought the powder into the White House, who brought the powder into the White House, will be expansive and includes a wide range of possible suspects, including staffers or even journalists, a law enforcement veteran explained on Wednesday. CNN analyst John Miller, an author and former New York Police Department official, spoke with CNN anchor Jake Tapper, who asked him to share his insights based on white powder that tested positive for, Coca-Cola, allegedly being found in the West Wing guest lobby on Sunday evening, and what he has heard from the White House. So first, I heard that it was found in a library, and then now guest lobby. Confusing. Miller said no to Tapper's question about whether the presumption within Secret Service, which is conducting an investigation, is that it is a tourist's fault. So they don't think so, is what I'm thinking. That's a possibility because people who come through the tours go through there, Miller added. But that area is, you've been through that entrance. I've been through that entrance. There's a canopy right there. It comes in off the street. Then you go in there. There's a bunch of cubbies where you put your phones. And you're going in one of those restricted areas where you can't carry a phone, like the Situation Room or somewhere else where people can put their belongings. Nothing that the substance was found right by where those cubbies are, Miller said. The culprit could be a staffer. That could be a member of the press who is there for a specific interview with someone on that side of the West Wing. Miller expounded on the various investigation steps, including looking at surveillance footage. That's the interesting thing, too. Wouldn't there be cameras absolutely everywhere? What they're going to do is look at the video. What does the video tell you? Was it Friday? Was it Saturday? Was it there before and just unnoticed? They'll look at the logs. Okay, who signed in? Who were they going to see? But there's more than that. The powder has been sent to Fort Detrick for a second round of testing to see, okay, it tested positive for Coca-Cola. Is there anything else in that could be hazardous or weaponized? The container it came in, which is about the size of a postage stamp, like a dime bag Ziploc, they'll be looking to see if they can extract a print from that or DNA. So they're going to be going through a lot of motions before they're in that stage where they're going to need to interview people. Do you think it's even going to get that far? I don't know. It was Corn Pops. You think it was Corn Pops? He was looking for a rematch. Oh. The perp might be driving a classic convertible Corvette. I hope so. I really hope so. For the sake of consistency, he better be driving a Corvette. What color, white or red? It was powdered sugar. It was oregano. This bag is filled with oregano. Dana Parita said cameras everywhere, so they should already know who did it. Yeah, that's what's a little bit confusing. And I would imagine, obviously, I don't know. I've never been inside of the White House, but I would imagine there's cameras everywhere. And they found it Sunday afternoon, so they evacuated, which I get why they did that. Glenn said, I'm waiting for Hunter to say it was Joe's, and he mistook it for mashed potatoes. Green convertible. Oh, green Corvette. Yeah, who buys a green Corvette? I dated a guy when I was in high school. I had this little boyfriend, and he had a green Mustang. It was like a forest green Mustang. Whose idea was it to make green sports cars? That just doesn't feel like it goes. Okay, another really interesting thing happened today, and it is being appealed in court. And it's even more fun because CNN had a meltdown over it. So we're going to watch CNN's meltdown. First, let's talk about what happened, and then we'll watch CNN's meltdown. So essentially, there was a lawsuit that the Biden administration, we all know this, we've talked about this before, but there was an actual lawsuit, Missouri federal court, that the Biden administration colluded with big tech to censor American voices during when everything was closed. You know what I'm talking about. I believe you can talk about it now on, or is it election fraud that you can talk about? I can't remember. But there is a lawsuit, and within the allegations listed in the lawsuit, they actually laid out 25 specific instances in which government entities talk to tech companies to get them to flag, censor, or take down social media posts about things that they deemed as misinformation. So the judge, by the way, in my opinion, this is a pretty based judge, ruled that you can't do that. That's unconstitutional, and you can't do it moving forward. So let's see. Okay. Okay, Judge Terry Doughty of the U.S. District Court for the Western. Oh, I got that so wrong. Did I say Missouri? Terry Doughty of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Louisiana has granted a preliminary injunction prohibiting several federal agencies with specific White House officials. He actually named specific people. From press, so they're prohibited from pressuring or coordinating with social media companies to suppress constitutionally protected speech. The new Civil Liberties Alliance, a nonpartisan nonprofit civil liberties group, celebrates this major victory for its clients. So there are several doctors. Oh, well, it was Missouri versus Biden. That's where I got Missouri. 3 of the NCLA's clients are distinguished scientists. So these are scientists that sued the Biden administration. 3 of the NCLA's clients are distinguished scientists. Because of state action, were blacklisted, shadow banned, deboosted, throttled, and censored on social media for merely articulating views opposed to government-approved views on restrictions, pandemic restrictions, and regulations. Jill Hines was a dissenter from mandatory vaccines and lockdowns who also had her media posts throttled. Her ordeal was a part of a lawless and expansive campaign by federal officials. Okay, well, anyway, the judge essentially said that what they were doing was Orwellian, and you cannot censor protected speech. Let me find my other article that I had for you. Okay, Judge Terry Doughty agreed, ruling that the states have produced evidence of a massive effort by the defendants from the White House to federal agencies to suppress speech based on its content. He ruled parts of the government, including the Department of Health and Human Services, the White House, the Justice Department, and the FBI, could not talk to social media companies for the purpose of urging, encouraging, pressuring, or inducing in any manner the removal, deletion, suppression, or reduction of content containing protected free speech. Specifically, named as being barred from contact were Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, and all employees of the Justice Department and FBI. Wild. So that was pretty based. And before I show you the appeal, because the Biden administration has already filed notices to appeal, let's just look at the reaction from CNN. Now, I do want to make something perfectly clear. The ruling still states that all of these agencies, including the FBI and the Department of Justice, they can contact social media companies if they are investigating actual crimes. If they need to investigate something that is probably a crime or illegal, they can still talk to social media and investigate. They can very much still do that. The issue is they were doing that with speech that is protected under the Constitution. You are allowed to be a dissenter. You are allowed to criticize. You are allowed to question. You are allowed to have your opinions, however awful and horrible and wrong and bad they are. And you're allowed to be a little bit mean on the internet. You're allowed to. We have protected speech. And what's really concerning is their reasoning for doing this is we're combating misinformation. Okay. What's misinformation? That's the issue. Who decides what misinformation is? Who decides? And what happens if one term we have a Democrat president and the next term we have a Republican president? Are they going to switch? Is it actual misinformation, or is it just opinions you don't agree with, and who decides? That's the issue. And I believe this judge, even in his ruling, actually likened this to Orwellian Ministry of Truth type things. And you're actually going to see in the reaction from CNN just how based this judge was, because we'll just watch it together. It's kind of long, so I'll pause. I'll stop it as we go. But this is them reacting to this ruling. And what's so crazy too, we've had a lot of court rulings recently. And what's wild is you'll see a lot of sort of the usual radical liberal suspects pop up and talk about how this is a rogue. Well, this guy isn't in the Supreme Court, but you'll hear them talk about these court rulings, especially the Supreme Court rulings, and they'll say that this is a rogue Supreme Court. This is not a normal court. No, this is a very constitutional court. And they've had rulings that conservatives haven't liked. They have rulings that I haven't liked. And that's actually when you know that you have a court that is doing the right thing and a court that is working objectively and how they should, when Republicans and Democrats are kind of mad. Not everyone should be happy with every single ruling. That's when you have a good Supreme Court. And I know for sure that the justices that Donald Trump nominated and brought in, they are constitutionalists. They stick to the Constitution. And I like that. That's what you should stick to. But what you will notice is that a lot of liberals also think that the Constitution is antiquated. So there you have it. Makes sense. Does it not? Okay, let's watch CNN Meltdown.
Trump appointed judge, but this judge was confirmed 98-0 by the Senate. Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress speech based on content. Those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in the United States history, Ellie.
Yeah.
Those are some bold words. Most massive attack on freedom of speech in United States history. What's alarming is that these were scientists that were censored. And scientists is all about experimenting, hypothesizing, debate, working things out, figuring it out. And actual scientists with differing opinions were being censored. Or at least that's what they're alleging, and the judge appears to agree. And what's alarming too, it wasn't just scientists. There were a lot of doctors. And that's scary because aren't you told to always get a second opinion? What happened to getting a second opinion from a doctor? Now there's only one opinion? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was my fault. That was not nice. Bad girl code. I paused on an awkward moment for her. Okay, let's watch.
It's a dramatic decision by this judge. If you read through it,
Oh, this guy's my favorite. Listen to this guy. This is awesome.
Citing to literature and George Washington and Ben Franklin. Here's what really is astonishing to me. This is a conservative ideology that clearly comes through in this decision. It's a conservative political ideology, right? We saw some of the quotes questioning vaccines, questioning masks, conservative talking points. But the rule.
Okay, do you hear what he said? Just really listen to what he said. He said questioning this thing or questioning that thing. Those are conservative. What do you say? Ideologies? Those are conservative stances. Questioning. Questioning is conservative. And questioning those specific things, he's using specifics, but really, we know how it is. If you question anything that they don't want you to question, that to them is conservative. Interesting. Yeah, no, it's not. Questioning should be that's a liberal principle, is questioning.
Ruling itself is the opposite of judicial conservatism. This is one of the most aggressive, far-reaching rulings you'll ever see. What this judge is
you can't censor people. That's what the judge. You can't censor people. And that is just such a crazy authoritarian ruling. You cannot censor people. More freedom.
Reporting to do is to micromanage, really, the day-to-day interactions between essentially the entire executive branch, all these agencies that are listed as defendants, and the leading social media companies. And in the actual...
So here's the thing, though. Why does the press secretary even need to speak to anyone in big tech? I don't understand why she would need to do that. And everyone, they still have full authority to go after things that are not legal and to investigate things that should be investigated. They still have full authority to do that. We, as citizens, our speech is protected. So it's so funny to me. I wonder if you get just so far in your own ideology that you don't even hear what you're actually saying. And the judge's job is to follow the Constitution. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
temporary injunction, the judge basically says, you're not allowed, administration, to talk to these social media companies about any protected free speech except for cybersecurity threats, national security threats, criminal threats. But where's the line?
You're not allowed to talk to them about protected free speech? What? Only when you're talking to them about things that you're only supposed to be talking to them about? Where does it end? Where does the madness end?
Who's going to police this?
Who is going to police it? I screen recorded that. Who is going to police this? Yeah, that's the question. It's the same question as who decides what's misinformation and what's not misinformation, sir. That's the issue. You and your goons. Yes, but approved news from authoritative sources, Special K says. Okay, so they are appealing. Surprise, surprise. All right. Yes, Biden administration plans to appeal. Judge found likely First Amendment violation by feds. Yeah, so they're appealing. The reason I saw for the appeal was the same exact thing, to fight dangerous misinformation from spreading. So, although where is this going to go if they keep appealing it? It's just going to go to the Supreme Court, and I have a feeling that they would have a very similar ruling because we have a lot of constitutionalists in the Supreme Court. But keep in mind, whenever you hear people like that saying that this is a rogue court, this is a crazy court, no, they're constitutionalists. They're doing exactly what the court is supposed to do. But it makes sense when you remember the fact that they don't like the Constitution. So they would get rid of the First Amendment if they could. They would get rid of the Second Amendment if they could. And by the way, there is a reason why it is the First Amendment, why it is number one. That is the pinnacle of a free society, is having freedom of speech. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but it's funny because I grew up in Gwinnett County, Georgia. That when I lived there, Gwinnett County, Georgia was the fastest growing county in the whole United States. You want to know what else is crazy? That is also one of the counties that you are going to want to look at in 2024. I was listening to Charlie Kirk earlier today, and he's right. That was one of the major counties that they had issues with in 2020. And it's because it's such a big, important county. Gwinnett County in Georgia, Fulton County in Georgia, Maricopa County in Arizona. There's a few other ones. Those counties are almost the most important things out of everything. So Gwinnett County is one of them. But anyway, I don't know where that came from. I meant to tell you this story. I just happened to listen to that today. But I went to Gwinnett County Public Schools, K through 12. I was in fourth grade. My fourth grade teacher, Miss Bannon, one day was teaching us all about different countries and different governments, how different countries govern themselves. And we were talking about North Korea and just how oppressive North Korea is, how they control their people. And us as, innocent little fourth graders were like, wait, that sounds crazy. Why do the people allow this? Why don't they move away? Why don't they do this? Why do they listen to all of these people? We didn't understand how they control their people like this. And that's when she taught us about propaganda. And she said, well, they control people by controlling the information they get. And she taught us about the government propaganda that they put out to sort of, brainwashed the people. She also described something, and I think about this now that we have all this discussion about censorship. She also talked to us, and I love, this was a good teacher. This was a very good teacher because she put it in a way that my little fourth grade brain understood, and I kept it. Obviously, because I'm telling you about it right now. I don't remember probably most lessons that I've had in school, but I remember that one because she said it in a way that stuck with me and my little brain understood. So the way that she described it is like this. Not only do they put out their own propaganda in the form of like whatever, like a newspaper, whatever, they also control the information that you're allowed to access on the internet. So let's say, and I don't even know if most people in North Korea have access to any kind of internet. I'm not sure. But let's say that you do have access to an internet, right? It would probably look something more like an intranet. You know, when you work for a company or when you go to a university or you're in school, you have that company or that school's like intranet where you can only access the things that they want you to access that are appropriate for whatever. Well, that's how she described us. So, for instance, if you were able to get on the internet, they would control what information that is available for you to even research. And look at what's happening with like Google and other things right now. It's sort of heading in that direction. And I never forgot that lesson. And every time we have these discussions about freedom of speech or misinformation or any of that, I think back to that lesson. And you don't realize how easy it is to slip into those situations. It's never all at once. It's a little bit here, it's a little bit there. Let's normalize this, let's normalize that. And then it's like full blown propaganda land. You had internet in the yeah, we had internet in the 4th grade. Right? Yeah. My high school history teacher was actually very good, but didn't realize it until I was an adult. Yeah, I didn't realize that she was a good teacher. And what's really sad is that my school district, Gwinnett County Public Schools, when I was there, it was such a great school district. I have so many good memories. It was a good public school district. Even my teachers, I like my teachers would mention that they would want their kids to go to our school, but they might have lived outside of the district. It was just a really good school district. And the past 2 years, maybe, I have seen Gwinnett County Public Schools make it on Libs of TikTok a lot. So it's taken over by the woke brigade, which is really, really sad because when I was there, it was not like that. Your teachers would never talk to you about politics. They would obviously teach you what the political parties are in an objective way, but you never knew their political leaning. They never talked to us about like LGBTQ plus double hockey stick, IA, backwards, nothing like that. And it was just a great experience. We were able to be kids, which was cool. But that was a good lesson. And you know, when you think about, we asked her, how do they control the people? That's the very first thing she said. Propaganda. So that goes back to why our founding fathers made it the first and not the second, not the third, not the fourth, not the fifth, but they made that the first. You have to at least be able to talk to each other to have a free society. You have to be able to share your opinion. Oh, wow. My friends picked Gwinnett years ago for the schools 35 years ago. That makes sense because Gwinnett is a really interesting county because the first school that I started going to, I'll say what it is. I don't know. I was in the school district of my high school would have been Berkmar High School. I went to Sweetwater Middle School, Bethesda Elementary School, Sweetwater Middle School, Berkmar High School. When I was in Sweetwater in 7th grade, right before 8th grade, my parents actually moved me out of that school district because it kind of started going downhill. There were just like gangs in the school and stuff. Did I ever go to Rudy's in Grayson? No, I don't know. The title of your video sounded like a game of Clue. Well, that's how it felt earlier in the day with the powdery white substance. It felt like a game of Clue. In the library with a mirror and a Do people do it like that? I don't know. Great dive restaurant. Well, you know what's interesting in California, in Southern California, they have this chain of really cute, they're like divey diner restaurants, and they're called Rubies. Oh, wow. Sarah, my teachers also talked about propaganda using school elections if only one person was allowed posters and the other were not. Wow, that's actually a really good lesson. One person was allowed posters and the other one wasn't. Interesting. That's a good lesson. All right, you all. I think I'm going to go. My little Eva is missing. And I'm a little worried. I think she's okay. I'm a little worried because she went to the vet yesterday and she got a rabies vaccine, which I don't think the vaccine did anything to her, but I just think she was really freaked out. She used the bathroom in the car on the way there and the way back. I know. And she went outside today and she was fine. She just lays on the porch. But what worried me is she didn't come in all day. And I saw her, the last time we saw her was probably about 6. So I'm a little worried. I hope she's okay. Sometimes she's just like out behind the house, or there's no cars around here. So she definitely didn't get hit by a car. But I'm a little worried. So I'm going to go try to find her, I think. I know. I hope she does too. Sometimes she's just out there doing her thing. But I got a little worried because she looked a little lethargic earlier and she got her vaccine. So she is a scaredy cat. She pooped in her crate on the way there. And then we were there and they made us wait 30 minutes. So I had her in her crate for 30 minutes and all these dogs are going by because they double booked us yesterday. And then, so we just had to be there for way too long than we should have. Yeah, Eva the Diva cat. Eva the Diva. And then she peed. She peed in her crate on the way back. And I have cloth seats. So that's been fun. And it's really hot outside. So I've been spending lots of time cleaning the inside of the car to get that horrible smell out. Hi, Kevin. Well, I haven't been live too much recently, so I apologize about that. I know I feel so bad for her. And she was I think she was just not in the best mood yesterday because of that. And I think today too. And sometimes, oh, it's bad. Cat poo is it's bad. It is bad. It's bad. So sometimes when she goes through a move, she does go through periods for a day or two where she hides. So she could just be hiding. I know. And we have a heat wave, so I'm worried about her, but she does have water outside. So she's fine and she knows where her water is. But anywho, and she's a kitty. All right. Well, I'm going to go hopefully find my kitty and hopefully she's okay. You all have a great night. I'll be live again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Thursday, and I'll put a little thumbnail up so you know before I go live. Thank you guys for joining. That was really fun. All right. Thank you. Y'all have a great night. And pray for Eva that I find her. Hopefully she's just being a little diva. All right. See you later. Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye. Wait. EJ Carroll quote. Why are you quoting? No, I'm going to be back. I am actually going to be back in LA on, I I have mixed feelings, but I'll be there for at least a year. I don't know if I'm going to be there later than that, but I have so much stuff over there in unfinished business because I left so quickly. But I will be back there. I'm flying back the first week of August. So once I'm back, you're going to see a lot more content too, because I will actually have good internet. It's been really frustrating here. So I'm excited to see you all more. And you'll come on this adventure with me. Going back to Cali. Eva is going to stay here, though, because I think I don't want to traumatize her. I might bring her back in a few months, but I just didn't want to freak her out by taking her on the plane and then moving and putting her through all that. So I'm going to keep her here at least for a few months because she's happy here. So hopefully I find her. All right. I'm going to go now and try to find Eva the Diva. I love that name, Eva the Diva. Oh, so just a parting FYI to chat. E. Jean Carroll case is a hoax. See quotes below. Okay, I'm getting distracted again. All right, good night, you all. Have a really good evening. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll be back here, same time, same place. And I will post a thumbnail before so you know when I'm going live. Bye. Thank you, guys.